Hello folks, this is Mike Kaylee 7 and I'm here to talk to you today about the 2021 Kawasaki ZH2 Special Edition, the SE model. So let's get into it right away. First of all, you notice the logo that we focused on in the beginning. That is a logo that Kawasaki only puts on their top of the line stuff. So this is the top of the line motorcycle and the toppity top, because it's the SE edition. So let's start out with the look of it. So the look of it has this weird insect-like, if you guys remember that movie Men in Black, the first one where Will Smith was like, "Eat me!" and the thing was looking down on him. That kind of is what it reminds me of, the teeth and stuff. So people say it's ugly. I don't have a problem with it. And it looks bigger in pictures than it is in real life. When you actually see it, it's like, meh. So that's the front. It's got this beautiful LED lighting, all LED lighting, except for here. They said all LED, I guess they meant there. This has got regular old-fashioned bulbs in it. Isn't that weird? SE my ass. Anyway. All right, over to the side. So this is the Brembo caliper. This is the Stylemma. And apparently the regular model has Brembos, but they're not Stylemmas. This has got the Brembo Stylemma. And then the master cylinder, if you come up here, this is a Brembo master cylinder, or well, or whatever. So it doesn't use the Nissan like the regular model does. This is Brembo and Brembo. So that's an upgrade from the standard ZH2 model. All right, coming around over here, you'll notice we have a hydraulic clutch. Yes, and it's very easy to pull in. It's not very heavy. Doesn't remind me at all of my Milwaukee 8. Why can't Harley make that easier? I don't know. Anyway, so there you go. It's got the high beam function, so that's good. You got passing lamp, you got the regular light, and you got the high beam function. Very easy to use. Let's go over to the side over here. Back up. The big feature. You see this thing right here? This is the intake, the Ram Air intake. And the reason we have this is because of the supercharger. Yes, that's right, folks. This bike is supercharged. So if you could come over here, we can focus in on that supercharger. There it is, folks. That's the supercharger. And let me tell you, when you twist on the throttle on this thing, it is gone, baby, gone. This thing is amazing. It's got 197 brake horsepower. It's got 101 foot-pounds of torque. Let's go back. You stay right where you are, and I'm going to walk over here. 101 foot-pounds of torque. And, yeah, you feel it in pretty much every gear. You could be in 6th gear and twist the throttle, and you'll go from 60 to 134 like that. It's amazing. It's got all kinds of rider assist modes, which I'll detail in the riding footage. I'll put a voiceover so you can see all the details about what the bike has, because I'm not going to be able to list them off like those experts do. Remember, this is a real world thing. This is just me, Mike Kaylee 7. All right, you'll notice here this little wire coming down, and over here too. This is an electronically adjustable suspension system, and apparently it's for both front and rear. So you'll notice you don't have to manually adjust these. You just do it through the TFT display. So let me show you. All right, so the TFT display here is where you would set up the suspension. You could have it soft, medium, hard. I haven't really figured it all out yet, but let's just take a look at a couple of the things that you can see. I'm in road mode. I've turned on the KQS, which is the Kawasaki Quick Shifter. This is the tachometer here, so it red lines at 12,000 RPMs. It's in neutral right now, and then I've got my fuel is full. I've got 383 miles on the bike so far. Temperature in the garage apparently is 78 degrees. The engine temperature is 122. It's 1:22 p.m. Ooh, that's freaky. And you can actually go through different aspects of it. So hang on, I'm going to push this button here. And it should change something. Where is it? Is it going to change it here? There it is. I can change the color. As you can see, change the color. And I can change the mode. sport mode. You got to hold the button down, and then I can go, let me see, road mode, and one more down I think is for rain mode. There you go. So you can do the 3 modes. I like it in road mode. And on my phone, this has an app. It's called a Rideology app, and I would use that to control this thing. I can download data to my phone. I can upload data from my phone to make settings changes. And if you'll come down here, you'll notice you can't see it right now. Let me see if I can cycle through it. I'm still learning this system. Let's see. Yeah, so vehicle settings, and you can go down through the display, so I can select that. And then I can do modes. So I can change the brightness, type 1, type 2, type 3. No, there's only type 1 and type 2. So I think I'm in type 1 right now. Let me try type 2 and see how that looks. And then the brightness, I'm not going to mess with the brightness. Let me go back. And then back and see now. Ah, there you go. Now look at all the new information. See this blue thing right here? That tells you where the centrifugal force is, or the G-forces. So when that blue line moves towards the back, the G-forces are on the back of the bike. Vice versa for the front of the bike. So it kind of lets you know, not like it's really that useful, because you're riding. You're not going to be staring down at that thing when you're popping a wheelie. Anyway, lean angle, it'll tell you your max lean angle, left side and right side after your ride. It will also tell you your max speed. There's a way you can find that. There's all kinds of data that you can actually store in here. I'm just not sure exactly how to go through it. Oh, see over here, I got, okay, BRK. Max lean 46, max lean 44, my most recent ride. BST, I don't know what BST stands for. I think that's the boost. That was my boost. So when you have BST function on there, it tells you what your supercharger's doing. And TH, I can't remember what TH stands for, but like I said, I'll read through all the stuff that the bike has as I'm doing the riding. And then the brake. So it's got pretty good stuff that you can kind of go through. There you go. Boost 91 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the temperature of the booster. I see. That's what that is. Temperature of the booster. Booster's at 100%. All right, let's go down to another one here. Let's try BRK. What does that tell you? That just tells you boost. I don't know what the BRK stands for. Sorry, folks. What about TH? Does that have something? Nope. So apparently you can't scroll through that stuff unless, well, I'm still learning, so. Is that the throttle? Ah, throttle.
And BRK brake.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even ride a motorcycle.
Okay, so my cameraman tells me that this is throttle, and so I'm imagining as you're twisting the throttle, this little indicator will light up a certain way.
BRK is brake, maybe?
Yeah, BRK is brake, so let me go. Oops, I just reset, or whatever. I'm back out. So I think that if I change that to brake, oh, look at that. There's my trip A, trip B. So it's kind of clunky, actually. Once you learn it, though, I guess you're all right. There you go, BRK. So when I'm pushing the brakes, it shows me my brake level. When I boost, my boost level. My throttle level. So that's what all that's for. Okay. So that's the fun stuff. Like I said, you can program it so that you can get the soft ride, the hard ride. You have ride modes. You have ride level, power levels. So I could do level 1, level 2, level 3. 3 is the smoothest. Level 1 is very low traction control, very low wheelie control. It still has it. I don't know. I think you could probably turn it all the way off, which you wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to do. So it does do a little bit of wheelies, apparently. I'm not going to test it yet. So there you go. That's how this all works. This is where, you know, start, stop the bike. So it's got the kill switch. And then if you want to start the bike, you know, and it's got the safety feature. I don't know if it'll start with the, well, the clutch. Right now it's in neutral, but let's see if it starts without my holding in the clutch or the brake. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it starts. So you don't have to hold in the clutch or the brake when you're starting if it's in neutral. I'm not going to test it and see how it does in first gear. I just don't want to do that. So there you go. And yeah, so that's the features of that part of the bike. Now, gas tank holds 5 gallons of gas, and it gets around 200 miles per tank, roundabout, depending on how you ride, of course. If you're always hitting it, then you're going to go through pretty quick. So if you're nice to it, you'll get some pretty good gas mileage. At 38 to 45 miles per gallon is what they're saying. And I was at 100 miles till empty the other day. Forgot my wallet, had to ride home another 50 miles. And by the time I got, back to the house, I still had about 55 or 60 miles in the tank. So, All right, now, let's go around to the exhaust here. The exhaust is an Akrapovic exhaust. And this has the catalytic converter inside of it. A lot of people don't like it, but I do. I think it's wonderful. Later on, you'll hear it. I'll start it up and you'll be able to hear it. It's not very loud at all, which is fine by me. You've got a passenger rest, so you get your passenger pegs, you get your passenger seat, which is minimal, so you're probably not going to have many passengers on here very long. Let's see, any other good stuff? Okay, the shifter. This is my brake, and so the brake is great. It's got, like I said, that Brembo system, so the brake is wonderful. Rear brake, front brake, great. On the other side, come around here with me. This is my shifter, and you could use the clutch or you don't have to use the clutch. It's got quick shifter up and blip shifter down. So I don't need to use the clutch unless I'm feathering it for some reason, like in, first gear maneuvering kind of stuff. So I'm learning this, and it's getting better. Chain drive, of course. And yeah, it's a new experience for me. I'm kind of spoiled with having an automatic transmission on my Honda Goldwing. So it's taking me a little bit to learn it, but I'm getting better. In my most recent video, you could see the problem for me is I keep going from 1 to neutral when I'm upshifting. Not a good thing. So I'm trying to remember when I'm shifting up from 1, I have to really shift hard up to avoid that neutral by accident. That's embarrassing. All right, so changes to the bike. Have I made any changes? Yes, right here. This is my tank pad. I had this installed at the dealership because I wasn't about to do it because they're separate pieces, and I'm going to mess that up. So they did it. I didn't get the Kawasaki one. I just got aftermarket something. And I think that's the only change I've made. I want to get some pads over here to protect this from my pants. I haven't done that yet. And any other modifications? I'm going to get the comfort seat. The seat on this thing is really, really hard. Maybe I got to break it in. I don't know. I'm going to wait a little bit and see. But after about an hour, my tailbone is barking at me. All right, now let's see about the height of the seat. I'm going to get on the bike, and then you'll be able to see whether or not I can flat foot it as I straddle the bike. Here we go. So as you can see, I am flat footing it. My feet are flat on the ground. So this is a 32.7-inch seat height, and I am 5'11.865. That's what the doctor said. So I'm basically a little bit below 6 feet tall. I've got a 31.2-inch inseam, and so I'm able to flat foot it no problem. The kickstand, a lot of people complain about the kickstand. Let me show you how they've designed this thing, which I figured out. There's a little nub right here. I'm going to put my heel on it. See the little nub right there? That's what you use to kick up the kickstand and to put down the kickstand. On the Honda and on the Harley, it's more of a thing way back here. But then this gets in the way. So you got to use this little nub. And it's very easy once you figure it out. So not too bad. All right, any other stuff? I'm trying to think. Oh, by the way, my Xiaolei 7 has a shirt now. Yeah. What do you think? Don't focus on the man boobs, though, okay? It's the heart behind it. All right, look in the back there. Can you see the back? My Xiaolei 7 motovlogging since 2007, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. So, you know, Got my little shirt. And anything else? Oh, storage. Let me show you how the storage thing works. This is my little Kawasaki key. You go down underneath here, pop that in, turn it. It unlocks the latch over here. You pull this forward, slides right forward. Not a whole lot of space in there. There is a little tool pouch deep down in that I can get to. I think it's a tool pouch. Yeah, it's a tool pouch. I'm not going to pull it out though. And what I do is, I'll take my cell phone, this phone right here, I'll wrap it in this, stick this in there. I have to turn off the Bluetooth to the phone because the moment I start up the bike or my Sena, the recording of the voice audio stops. So I put on voice recording and then I make sure the Bluetooth is off. And then I turn on my Sena and I turn on my bike and then that stays on. I wrap this, I stick it in here. Before I stick it in, I say synchronize, synchronize, synchronize. So I get all my cameras synchronized. And then put this in, put this back on. It's very easy to put back on. You just slide it right back up and it locks automatically. So not a whole lot of storage, but you know, you don't need that. I could buy a tank bag. I don't want to. This bike is not for that kind of thing. I will buy a back seat bag or use the one I already have, my camera bag, because there are strap down points. Let me show you the strap down points. Over here, this is where you can strap down in a bungee cord, and I have that netted type that goes over, so I can strap it down on both sides. So this will be my luggage area. I don't know how I'm going to get on and off the bike. I guess I'll stand on the pegs to do so. This has road feelers, so let's take a look at those. Those are the road sensors, so if you're scraping these, you're leaned over too far. And my goal is not to scrape those. I'll scrape them once or twice, and once I figure out how far that is, hopefully my brain will remember how far I can lean it over. But the point is not to lean it way over and scrape, because that's too bad. If you're going in a really steep corner really fast, you want to use your body more. So that's what I'm doing with that. Over here, you'll notice this stock coming out. This is for, you know, your turn signals and your brake lights and all that, and it's mandatory, and it's got the license plate and all. A lot of people take this off, and they have what they call a tail tidy. I'm just going to leave this stock for now. Sorry about the dirt. I ride this in the rain sometimes. I'm going to leave it stock for now because, you know, I don't have a problem with it. Let me show you this light here. Focus on this light. Let me show you what happens when you turn the bike on. That is a Z. Can you see the Z? When I hit the brake, I think it all lights up and becomes kind of like an X. Yeah. So, there you go. That's a little feature people talk about. And, yeah. So, I think it's got Pirelli tires on it. Let's take a look and see. What does it say here? Corsa, something Pirelli Corsa? Rosso 3 by, what is this? Diablo. I guess it's a Pirelli Diablo. Do you see it says Pirelli down there? No. How about in the front? Let's peek at the front. Let's see what that says. Diablo Rosso. Maybe Diablo is the tire. What is that?
Pirelli.
Ah, okay, it says Pirelli.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Pirelli, woohoo! Yeah. Since I'm down here, looking at this Pirelli tire, big old radiator. The horn is a wimpy horn. I might get a radiator protector. I just want to make sure it doesn't make the bike run hotter. I don't want that to happen. Like I said, the bike is pretty quiet. You'll hear it when I start it up to take it out for a ride. Unfortunately, it's very filthy because I've been riding in the springtime, and that means rain. But yeah, and you'll see over here it says KIBS, K-I-B-S. This is the Kawasaki something system, which I'll read later on. It's the suspension. Notice it's got the gold forks. I guess the regular models don't have the gold forks. So that's pretty much it. Let's take a look at the front with the light on. There's the light on?
Yeah.
I guess that's low. Oh, it's not on. Let me turn this on real quick. There you go.
You just have a little mini sun on the front of your bike.
So it's bright enough to be seen. I've not ridden this in the dark yet, and I don't plan on it. And that's pretty much everything I can think of on a bike this small. It doesn't have, oh, I did forget. Take a look at this right here. Cruise control, baby. I have cruise control, yeah. So I don't have to, worry about the throttle all the time. I can cruise control it. So this bike is a dream. You might say, Mike Kaylee 7, why did you buy this bike? Well, let me talk about that very briefly. Let's come over. Oh, yeah, you're zooming in. It's all blurry.
I thought it was my glasses, but yeah.
All right, so why this bike? Well, I have the Honda Goldwing, which is a perfect motorcycle. It's very tour worthy. It's very sport touring worthy. It's wonderful. But I kind of got addicted to speed and twisties. And this bike is kind of a happy medium. Definitely got the speed. Very few bikes can go as fast as this thing. The twisties, not as much. This is not for twisties as much, but it's definitely more for twisties than the Goldwing is. So maybe I'll take it to a track at some point once I get more used to it and find a cheap enough way to get to the track and on the track, because I don't want to spend all this money on it. And yeah, I haven't put any frame sliders on yet. Haven't thought about that quite yet. And I'm just kind of learning the bike. So stay tuned. I'm still going to ride my Honda Goldwing. You'll still see that. But you'll see this too. So now I'll get 2 bucks. Kind of like GB winging it. You see him on his Honda CB 1000R. You're going to see me occasionally on this and then occasionally on my Goldwing. And when I take my really long trip later on this year, it'll be on the Goldwing. All right, folks. Talk to you later. Okay, so here's a list of all the stuff that this bike has. Okay, so let's start with technology, okay? It's got assist and slipper clutch. It's got economical riding indicator. It's got electronic cruise control, electronic throttle valves, KLCM, which is Kawasaki Launch Control Mode, KCMF, Kawasaki Cornering Management Function, KTRC, Kawasaki Traction Control, power modes, smartphone connectivity, sound tuning, supercharged engine, KQS, which is Kawasaki Quick Shifter, ABS, IMU Enhanced Chassis Orientation Awareness, KECS, which is Kawasaki Electronic Control Suspension, also known as KEX, and KIBS, KIBS, Kawasaki Intelligent Anti-Lock Braking System. For power, we're looking at 4-stroke, 4-cylinder DOHC, 4-valve, liquid-cooled, supercharged engine, 998 cc's. It's, let's see, what else it's got here? Its final drive is a sealed chain, and it's got all those electronic rider aids like I talked about, including something called Showa Skyhook technology, which is basically an electronic adjustment to things that the regular model doesn't have. Maximum torque is 101 foot-pounds. In the performance category, let's see what we have here. Showa SFF BP fork with KEX compression and KEX rebound damping, plus manual spring preload adjustability. Rear suspension, Unitrack, Showa gas charge shock with KEX compression and KEX damping, plus manual spring load preload adjustability. Front tire is a 120/70-17. Rear tires 190/55-17. Front brakes dual 320mm disc with radial mount Brembo Stylema monoblock calipers, Brembo master cylinder, and KIBS. Rear brakes single 260mm disc with single piston caliper and Kibs. It's also got a 1-year warranty, and you can extend that for a number of months or years. So that's the stats on the bike. The MSRP is $19,700 for the bike, and so yeah, there you go. Forgot to mention the following things. The details on the bike. You've got a trellis frame, which is made out of high tensile steel. The rake and trail is 24.9 degrees and 4.1 inches. Overall length is 82.1 inches. Overall width is 31.9 inches. Overall height, 44.5 inches. Ground clearance, 5.5 inches. Seat height, 32.7 inches. Curb weight, 531.4 pounds. Fuel capacity, 5 gallons. Wheelbase, 57.3 inches. Special features: Rideology, the app, smartphone connectivity, and TFT instrumentation. Color choices are Golden Blaze Green or Metallic Diablo Black. It's got that 12-month warranty, like I said before, and it also has Protection Plus for up to 48 months. You might be wondering what the Skyhook technology thing is. Let me read this to you. The 2021 Kawasaki ZH2 SE gets Showa Skyhook EERA semi-active electronic suspension. Skyhook refers to the concept that the motorcycle should ride as if there's a hook supporting its sprung weight, with the suspension moving up and down over bumps. It's a design theory that the motorcycle should have little movement when traversing bumps, with the suspension doing the dual duties of handling the road irregularities while keeping the chassis stable. EERA stands for Electronically Equipped Ride Adjustment. The Showa suspension works in concert with the 5-axis Bosch IMU and other sensors. The IMU tells the suspension if the motorcycle is accelerating or decelerating and at what rate, plus wheelie angle, front of tire, and lean angle. The EFI system's ECU keeps tabs on the front and rear wheel speeds. The ABS tells the suspension how much front brake caliper pressure is being exerted. Finally, the suspension reports its own stroke speed and position in the stroke. Taking the avalanche of information into account, along with the riding mode selected, the suspension is adjusted via solenoids at a maximum rate of 100 times per second. Further, the spring preload for the Showa BFRC, balanced free rear cushion shock, is set electronically, with the fork having manual spring preload adjustment. Superior suspension means that you can ride faster, so the 2021 Kawasaki ZH2 SE has high-performance Brembo Stylema calipers for the 320mm front discs. We're looking at serious braking power here in the front with steel braided lines and a radial Brembo master cylinder. Kawasaki's proprietary ABS keeps its implementation as transparent as possible and is cornering aware. Otherwise, the 2021 Kawasaki ZH2 SE is the same as the standard Kawasaki ZH2 that this company tested, except for the price. It's a little bit more. It's about $2,200 more for the suspension and braking upgrades.